up, YouTube? This is Charlie D right here. There's an update on the little tractor here. Working on it. Had a couple interesting little problems. I've removed this linkage here. There used to be a throttle cable right here, it's still here, and had issues with the little screw that held that until it clamped it in place. Got that out, fixed it. I should be filming more than I probably have been, but I just decided just to get this thing going here. So what have I done? Taken all this apart, put the steering back. So long story short, I had to do some other work this week, so I put the steering box back together, which is not really the gearbox, sorry, but the linkages. And my air compressor sprung a leak too, so it is one that I bought just recently. It's used, so I had to patch that up. Yesterday, pulled the cover off, the rear cover, and let it drain. I want to leave it alone for the time being because it's going to be outside. I want to try to tarp it, but the engine's going to be tarped up more than anything else. Not really seeing, there's a lot of sludge in here for one thing. So I figured I'd pull this loose since I took the engine cover and sealing that stuff. There's a lot of sludge in here and real fine particles of metal. I don't know if you can see that reflecting or not. But anyways, I'm going to clean all that out when I get it back in the garage next. Right now, I'm trying to take this cover off. I'm sorry, the back seat fenders and all is one big unit. There is 6 bolts I got to take loose. There's 3 over here. I took one. There's the other one. There's 6 on this side, and I'm sorry, there's 3 on the other, and then on one side and 3 on the other side. They're back in there, and you can't really see past that cable, can you? But anyways, what I'm attempting to do is I want to change all the fluids, and this has got 2 extra little cavities, and you really won't be able to see them until I get this apart. But there's a small gearbox each side. I also took the hitch off too to get more access to that rear cover. And there's a gear on this side, and then there is a gear on the other side. And to get better access to them, I want to take this whole seat assembly and everything off. And also going to have to take this the oil filter, hydraulic filter. Sorry. Gotta get this hydraulic filter off. It requires 2 bolts to remove. And evidently, I think this used to be for the PTO. Whenever I bought this, there was really nothing here. There was a shaft and some pulleys. There's the pulley, and here's the shaft, and I took this all apart. Yeah, today is Sunday, so I'm trying to get rolling. I soaked this with some WD-40 in hopes that it will. Right now, it's kind of that's not rusted, but when I get it running, I want to try it out. Like it is, make sure this engine's going to be okay, because of all the sludge we see in there. Make sure the engine's going to be okay and not smoke too bad. And so that's where we're kind of at right now. There's the clutch. You can probably see it much better now. So it's interesting and yet very simple design. Probably not. Some people, one of my coworkers was very much against me buying this, so actually I didn't even tell him I bought it. And also wanted to show you guys one other thing. I'll show you here in a second. When I was in here, I noticed that the main power cable, and this may be a common problem, I don't know. The main power cable has been sheared, and this tractor currently is a positive ground system, and I'm going to change it to a negative ground system. And it isn't that difficult if you don't have a lot of gauges. And I'll try to explain. And it's something I learned in school that I memorized, and most people don't know this, but starters can run negative ground or positive ground. They'll turn the same way. I learned that in school, vocational school. And so what I want to do is I'm going to switch. This is going to be replaced. I'm going to get a new ammeter. I gotta find my gauge set. I got a gauge set about years ago, and I'm thinking about putting three nice gauges on here so I can see what's going on. I might relocate the oil thing somewhere else if I need another spot for a gauge. But it is nice to have an oil sensor, or oil light, I'm sorry. If you run out of oil pressure, it definitely will grab your attention quicker than a gauge will. So I'm thinking about putting maybe an ammeter there, and then maybe an oil pressure gauge over here, and maybe a coolant temperature sensor over there, which of course will require punching holes through. So, but that's one of the final things I'm going to be worried about. So obviously the first thing is going to get the radiator repaired. I dropped it off today, and I want to take this bracket loose, and so I can get this a bit easier spot to where I can drill it out and tap it. Right now, I mean, it's doable, but it's much more easier to have it out and put it in a vise or something. So, just a quick update. Chow the do right out.